Mike Masters Media. We are outside. The one and only Pass up in the place to be. All good. We're out here with Massacre 6.
Yes, sir.
Massachusetts.
Hell yeah.
How you feeling, man?
I feel good, man. I feel awesome. Ready to get to work. You know what I'm saying?
So we were speaking a little bit earlier about how your process works and what it looks like. Talk to the people, let them know a little bit more about how you got prepared for this battle.
Yeah, well, I got prepared for this how I, prepare for any battle pretty much, which it does entail a lot of things. It's not just one thing. It's like, I have to, I'm eating right. I'm like exercising and shit a little bit more, like, you know what I mean? And as far as the writing process, it's kind of complicated. Like I will have to sit down sometimes and really get in the zone and just watch battles. Not necessarily my opponent, but just shit that I like, you know what I'm saying? And just dissecting like the things that I love about battle rap and sort of internalizing it. And sometimes I have to do that for like a long time before I can, sometimes it's a long runway of getting like, the creative motivation. But then when I get to it, it's going, you know what I mean? And then the memorization process is a whole nother thing, you know what I mean? And that is something that I take very serious too, where like, like I break it up into like segments, like each verse, each round, I break them down into segments, which you could say like a rhyme scheme maybe. And I just kind of make sure that's down and then make sure I have the transition from that to the next one. And then once you realize it's really just muscle memory, and then it makes it easier when you do it. Then you can sauce it up and like do hella shit. I mean,
absolutely. So you obviously have a resume of top hitters, A-tier battlers. Twork. Where do we sit here on your current resume, and how does that look?
I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of Twork, like, you know what I mean, first and foremost. And I always have been. And so, I don't necessarily know. I don't know if I think about it in terms of like where it ranks. Like, I think it's gonna be more about like what kind of performance we both put on tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's gonna be a classic. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. That's my prediction.
So, okay, with your prediction being as such, you have a tendency to either bark or talk. Where do you think your approach is here, knowing how Twork normally can sit in a battle?
That's an interesting like observation, and this is not a cop-out answer. This is really my honest answer. It's hard for me to answer that because I just write, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as if somebody's saying it's barking or talking or whatever, that's for the consumer to decide, you know what I'm saying? And like, to me, I'm just trying to say something in every bar, you know what I mean? And so this one is definitely one of those. So yeah, I think it's probably going to be a little bit of you could say barking and talking going on, you know what I mean?
Well, because the reason why I say that is because you can honestly be at a point where it's not even about matching energy. It's more so around, look, I'm going to take over, because either you feel it. I'm a big fan of yours, so either you feel it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, either you feel it, and you're like, no, I'm going to take this battle back because I feel like you're trying to take it away from me, and so it turns into a barking match. And I go back to the third against Arsenal, where you're like, nope, I'm taking this whole thing back. Mm-hmm. So that's why I go back to that question of where your headspace is at, and does it have to happen in the battle for you to understand?
No, it's gonna. Yeah, I feel like that's a really good question, and it's almost difficult to answer. So I think on one hand, I feel like it doesn't matter if it happens. Like, I'm gonna go there, and I know I'm gonna go there every time, at some point, or constant. You know what I mean? But then on the other hand, it is like, it's an energy that happens in the moment that like definitely helps like navigate sort of which direction I take the the emphasis and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's like a little bit of both. You know what I mean?
Great.
But for this one, I'm definitely anticipating, you know, the twerk presence, the energy and shit like that. Like, you know, I prepare for that. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think? Okay, so you're a prolific song maker, and
Right on. Appreciate that.
absolutely, and you are a prolific battler. They obviously have their separate lanes, and I'm not asking you to prioritize or put like a particular value on either side. What I'm saying is that, like, as a rapper, is it important to do both?
For me personally, like as an individual, it is, and it always has been. Like I was battling as soon as, like at the same time I started recording songs, I was battling kids at school and shit, which was I was like 12, 13 years old. And yeah, I don't know if, but as far as like being a rapper and shit generally, like I don't necessarily think like it's like, you know, especially nowadays, like we live in a new world, like there's a lot of battle rappers that don't make music at all, you know what I mean? And their art form, their expression is just battle rap. And I think, you know, I used to kind of hate on that a little bit, but just because it's a little bit odd to me, I guess, or was odd to me, but it makes sense. I think that's cool. And I don't necessarily think like if you know, I know a lot of people think shit like, you know, you're a rapper, but you can't battle rap, that you're not really a real lyricist type shit. I don't necessarily think that. I think a lot of people who are, you know, I think a lot of dope rappers and lyricists could actually enter the battle rap world to be dope at it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for me,
You value both?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's extremely important for doing both, because they're two different things. That there's things I can't do in music that I can do a battle rap, and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Massacre 6 this weekend.
Yeah.
Outside of you and Twork, obviously 14 other battles that are main event battles that can be landed on any league that you know can facilitate it. Give me 3 that you're looking for outside of yourself.
Yeah, Big K, Tay-Rock.
Woo!
Obviously. Looking forward to Frack versus John and Don. It's gonna be crazy. And I'm looking forward to Chilla Jones versus T-Rex as well. I think that's gonna be special. Chilla at home. T-Rex always goes crazy. He's been going crazy lately. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. So yeah.
We've got the Bay Area out here in Massachusetts, bro.
Hell yeah.
It's game time. We're looking at it. Is there anything that you want to let your fans know about your readiness for this battle? Because we're gonna upload this tonight.
Yeah, listen. I'm finna do something a little. You know, there's gonna be a couple of different things going on from me tomorrow, and it's gonna be everything that you want from battle rap is gonna happen between me and Twork tomorrow. I promise you that.
Mike Masters Media, give a couple shout outs.
Grand National, Town Business, Pass 510 on Instagram, Twitter. Holla at me.